Lesson 7, Session 2, we're adding and subtracting decimals. In the example, Tara's house is 1 9400 kilometers from the library. The library is 347 thousandths kilometers from the park. Tara walks from her house to the library and then from the library to the park. What is the total distance that Tara walks? In the example, total is the key word, so they added the decimals, lined the decimal places up, brought the decimals straight down in their answer, so they know that Tara walks a total distance of 2 287 thousandths kilometers. In the example, how much farther is it from Tara's house to the library than it is from the library to the park? Our key phrase here is how much farther. That tells us we're going to subtract. So I need to decide which of my decimal numbers is the largest number, not the longest, the largest value, and place it on top and subtract. I'm going to line up my decimals, which means I have to fill in any placeholders with a 0. Now we can subtract. I cannot take 7 away from 0, so I'm going to have to regroup. 10 minus 7. I cannot do 3 minus 4, so I'm going to have to regroup again. That becomes an 8. This is 13. 8 minus 3. And 1 minus 0. It is 1 593 thousandths kilometers farther. A day on Venus is about 224 7/10 Earth days. A day on Mercury is about 58 646 thousandths Earth days. Again, we have how much longer is a day on Venus than a day on Mercury. I know I'm going to subtract, so I need to put the larger value number on top and subtract while making sure to line up my decimals to keep my place value places in line. This time I have 2 placeholders. So now I subtract. I cannot do 0 minus 6, so I'm going to have to regroup. Nothing to borrow from here, so I'm going to have to come over 6. This would be a 10, but I still have to give one to my next door neighbor, so I'm going to make that a 9. Now I can do 10 minus 6, 9 minus 4, and 6 minus 6 is 0. I'm going to bring down my decimal straight to my answer. I cannot take 8 away from 4, so I'm going to have to borrow from next door. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 14. 14 minus 8 is going to be 6. 1 minus 5 is not possible, so I'm going to have to borrow here. This becomes 11 minus 5. 1 minus nothing. So I can see that B is the correct answer. Number 3, evaluate the expression 4 squared minus D if D is equal to 3 643 thousandths. First, I need to substitute my number, so I know that D is equal to 3 643 thousandths. I need to figure out what this answer is, so 4 squared is equal to 4 times 4, which is 16. And now to actually subtract these numbers, I'm going to have to line them up. So 16 is the larger number. It's going to go on top. I know that the whole number 16 is like saying 16 point nothing. So when I line my decimal number up, I need to make sure and put the 3 in the ones place and line up everything else accordingly. We're going to have to add a few placeholders here. I cannot do 0 minus 3, so I'm going to have to borrow. I can't borrow here, cannot borrow here. I have to come all the way over here. This would become a 10, but I've still got to give one away. This would become a 10, but I still have to give one away. And finally, that's how we make a 10. So 10 minus 3, 7. 9 minus 4, 9 minus 6. Bring our decimal straight down. 5 minus 3. And 1 minus nothing. 12 357 thousandths. Anders adds 8 and 84 hundredths and 62 and 5 tenths, but he makes an error. Describe his mistake and show the correct addition. Well, first I can see that his decimals are not lined up, so I already know that that's his mistake. Decimals not aligned. And show the correct addition. 8 and 84 hundredths. We need to line our decimals up. 62 and 5 tenths. Notice I have an empty spot for a placeholder. Because it's addition, I didn't have to put my larger number on the top. Or 8 plus 5. 8 plus 3. And 6 plus 1. And my decimal is coming straight down in my answer. So it should have been 71 and 34 hundredths. Last question. The length of a lap on a running track depends on the lane. Greg runs 1 lap in lane 4, 1 lap in lane 5, and 1 lap in lane 6. What is the total distance that Greg runs? Show your work. We know that total means to add, so I need to look at lane 4, 5, and 6. Since it's addition, I don't necessarily have to put the largest number on top. I just need to make sure that my decimals are lined up. This last one is a whole number, so I know that goes before the decimal. 0.00. 8 plus 6. 6 plus 4. My decimal is going to come straight down in my answer. 6 plus 4. 4 plus 7. And 3 times 4 would be 12, plus 1 more is 13. 1,310 and 4 hundredths meters.